so today you can see it's backwards, so if you can read backwards, we're going to talk about Noah's Ark. I love this story, and I'm going to say that probably every single time we do this because the Bible is awesome, and I love all the stories. They're adventurous, they're fun. So we're going to talk about Noah's Ark. I'm going to read this story to you guys. It is going to be a brief summary of what Noah's Ark and the story of Noah's Ark is. We are not going to read every single word that is in there. Full disclosure, so if you see that it looks like there's more words and I'm not saying all of them, it's because I'm skipping some of the words because there's a lot of them. And I'm excited about the experiment we're going to do after we read the story. All right, so old man Noah was a very good man. See, he's the one here. He's got the long white beard. But God was not happy with the rest of the people. They didn't listen and behaved very badly. One day, God said to Noah, I'm going to flood the earth to wash it clean. Build a wooden ark and make sure it does not leak. Take your family and two of every kind of animal into the ark. Bring plenty of food for everyone. In 7 days, I will make it rain. So he had 7 days to build an ark and get it going and get all the animals together. So Noah did as God told him. His sons, they chopped down trees, they hammered in pegs, they sawed big planks. They painted the ark so that it would not leak. They worked very, very hard. But there was no time to rest. Next, they collected two of every kind of animal. It wasn't easy. Can you imagine trying to herd two of every single kind of animal? Now, that to me just goes, there's only one way to get that done, and that was with God's help. Because can you imagine trying to wrangle a crocodile or try and catch a cheetah? Can you try and imagine trying to catch a cheetah? That'd be crazy. Sure enough, after 7 days, it began to rain. Drip, drop, the rain didn't stop. The water rose and lifted the ark. For 40 days and 40 nights it rained. Even the highest mountains were flooded. Inside the ark, it was dark. All the animals squashed together and they made a terrible noise. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever been around any kind of animals, they are very, very noisy. And they do not listen when you're like, hey, trying to sleep, need a little rest, or I'm trying to watch my favorite show, or I'm trying to play a game. I'm in the middle of a game and it's kind of intense. So as you can imagine, this would be quite noisy. For another 150 days, the earth was flooded and washed clean. But God did not forget Noah and his ark. Drip, drop, the rain did stop. Then God sent a wind and the flood went down. Finally, the ark landed on the top of the highest mountain. Slowly, the water went down and down. Noah opened the window and saw other mountaintops. He sent out a dove, but the dove soon flew back. A week later, Noah sent the dove out again. This time it flew back, carrying a twig in its beak. What do you think that means if it had a twig in its beak? If I were to guess, it means that there's probably trees and stuff that are finally starting to be uncovered, right? Noah waited another week and sent out the dove again. This time it didn't fly back. At last, the dove had found dry land. Then God said to Noah, it's safe to come out now. 2 by 2, the animals came out of the ark into the sunshine. Noah thanked God for keeping them all safe. After that, God made a promise to Noah, never to flood the earth again. As a sign of his promise, God put a colorful rainbow in the sky. You see that beautiful rainbow? So if this is your first time hearing this story, anytime you see a rainbow, it's a reminder to us that God has promised to never flood the earth again. It's a covenant. That's another word for promise that they use in the Bible. And that is a sign that our God is a promise-keeping God. Because since the earth has flooded for Noah, it has never done it again. Our God is so awesome, and he's a great promise-keeping God. So anytime you see a rainbow in the sky, you can go, oh my gosh, that is just a sign that our God is awesome and he keeps all of his promises. Okay, so I thought it'd be kind of fun. We are going to make a rainbow in a glass. Now, the thing about this is, there's a little bit of science involved, and if I do it wrong, it's not going to turn out. So I am going to show you guys as we go through it, and I'm going to probably talk because that's what I do. So we're going to actually start with the color purple, and it's kind of hard to tell that this is purple. It's looking a little black in the camera here, but this is actually purple. And next we're going to add blue. Now, if I were to add these in the wrong order, what would happen is they would all kind of mix together and they would turn brown. And so it's really important that we follow directions very carefully. So I'm going to very slowly drip the blue down the edge of the glass. Maybe a little on the outside of the glass. There might be some cleanup involved after this today after all. All right, and we're getting there. Sometimes to do things correctly, it takes a little bit longer. Part of me very badly just wanted to dump it in there because sometimes I can be impatient. The Bible tells us we need to be patient and follow the directions, right? Now, what's one way to make sure we know what the directions are in the Bible? Do you think that we're born just knowing what the Bible says? Or do we have to read it and spend time in the Word and getting to know what God says? Okay, so as you can tell now, there are two layers. So we have our purple layer and our blue layer. And we are going to do green next. I just got soap on my hand. It's making this cup a little slippery. So we're going to take our time and be careful this time. And carefully, slowly, we're going to pour this right down the side of the cup. Oh, and make a mess. You guys, as it turns out, I am not really a non-messy human. Okay, so now we have 3 layers. Can you guys see that? We have our purple layer, we have our blue layer, and we have our green layer. We're slowly but surely building our rainbow. And so I want to remind you guys, the rainbow is a sign from God. It's a promise that He made to Noah. He wasn't going to flood the earth anymore. And another word for promise in the Bible is covenant, which is kind of a fun word to say and kind of makes you sound like a smarty pants, right? So the next color we're going to do is yellow. Maybe I will get this in there this time. We'll see without making a mess. Maybe. Oh, there it goes. Ooh, this is exciting. Now, some of you, if you've been to church with us before, you might have seen me do this. And seen me made this mess in person. The only difference is the mess is getting made in my house this time. Oh, and there we go. So we have our purple, our blue, our green, and our yellow. Now the last color that we have is going to be red. Okay. Really don't want to make a mess with this because it's going to stain. Here we go. Slowly. Okay, and we're going to kind of let things settle a bit. There. Now it all kind of separates out. And so, as we're looking at our rainbow here, there, if I move my arm out of the light, you guys can see much better all the layers. We got our purple, blue, green, yellow, and red. And that's our little rainbow in a jar, so we don't have to wait to see one in the sky, because as it turns out, I don't have that ability to actually create a rainbow in the sky. But I can create one in a jar using science, which is really cool. So I just wanted to remind you guys that is a picture of God's promise for us, and that our God He keeps His promises, which is just so wonderful. It's something that we can depend on. And so I want to encourage you guys this week, rather than just read, oh no, it's going to hold up my book again, but it's got some soap all over it. I would love for you guys to actually read the story in your Bible. So if you're interested in where that's at, it's in Genesis chapter 6, verse 9 through Genesis chapter 9, verse 17. Again, I cannot pick up my page of notes because I just made a mess all over it. If you guys want to find some fun ways to maybe live out this story a little bit and get to know it, I highly recommend playing some animal charades, and or parents, if you would like to participate, and it's a really great way to maybe burn off some extra energy, is to go out in the yard and play, hey, like, show me, what does a frog do? What does an inchworm do? How does a kangaroo move? And your kids can then act out all of those fun movements. That's a really fun activity and just a great way to get your body moving. You guys can have a great conversation about what your favorite animals are and why, and what are some of the fun things that God did to create that animal, and what are some of the fun maybe defense mechanisms that it has. Animals are so fascinating, and there's tons and tons of videos. So kids, ask your parents if you would like to find some of those, if maybe they could help you out looking those up on the internet. But there is a lot of fun videos out there about just how cool animals are. And lastly, what I would love to see this week is a recreation of Noah's Ark, just like a snapshot picture of it. So if you want to color a picture or paint a picture or recreate it using your stuffed animals and your siblings or your cat or your dog, or if you want to use Legos and create a Noah's Ark scene, I would love to see pictures of recreations of Noah's Ark. I would think that would be awesome. I love hearing from you guys and seeing you guys. I got to see some really fun pictures from last week's video of people out in nature. God has really blessed us with amazing weather this week. At least if you're here in like Minnesota, Wisconsin area, we have just had a phenomenal week of really great weather. So just encourage you guys to continue to get out in that great weather and maybe create your scene outside or use chalk. That might be a fun one. Trying to give you guys a few extra ideas. All right, well, I look forward to seeing you guys all next week. I hope you have a wonderful week coming up, and we will talk soon.